Alright, class. Degrees or radians? How'd you know it's radians? Okay, it has the pi. Degrees or radians? Why is this radians? Because it has a pi. Degrees or radians? Ah, where's the degree symbol? Ah, there is none. So this is what? Radians. So we have all of them are radians. Now that's minus the directions, because then it says convert radians to degrees. Partner B, tell partner A the awesome proportion. Maurice, what is our awesome proportion? Correct. We have radians. I'm going to put it here. Nine pi over 4 over 2 pi. So yesterday we learned this awesome proportion. Parts over whole equals parts over whole. And now we're solving for the word degrees. Looks kind of complicated there. You have a fraction in the numerator. So what I'm just going to do right here is I'm just going to cross multiply. So now I have 9 pi over 4 times 360. And I have 2 pi, purple, 2 pi times degrees. Class, where's the 360? Numerator, denominator? How can I make that a fraction? Put over 1. I'm going to divide both sides by 2 pi. And notice that when I'm essentially dividing by 2 pi on both sides, that's over here. Those are the same, right? Division property of equality. So all I need to do now is just simplify. I can kind of cheat and see what's below. So I have 2 times pi times 4. I have 9 times pi. And I want to get rid of that 4, so I'm thinking of 4 times 90. Does that help? And that 90 can turn into what? 2 times what? 45. So I'm going to cancel my pi's. I'm canceling my 4's. And canceling my 2's. And then you can multiply 9 times 45 in your calculator. And you get 405. Now, if you guys think about number sense, class, is this more than or less than a circle? It's more than a circle. Okay? You agree? So that means my answer has to be more than 2 pi. 8 pi over 4 would be equal to 2 pi. Yes? So this is a little bit more than 2 pi. Alright, let's try the second one. Brian, what's our awesome proportion? Radians. So I'm going to do my substitution. Negative 5 pi over 6 all over 2 pi equals degrees over 360. Raise your hand if you have those two things so far. Good job. Now let's do our cross multiplying. Two pi times degrees. We're okay? Now I'm going to extend my fraction line. Right, that's 360 over 1. I need to solve for degrees, so my 2 pi is going to go right there. I see a 6 there, I see a 2. Negative 5 pi, so that's really 12, right? So that's really 360 degrees is 12 times what? 30. Now if you did it differently, it's okay. What's the main idea is that we're reducing our fraction to be the same. Right? You could literally do 5 times 360 and get some huge number and then divide it by 12. Does that make sense? And then you're in trouble though if it's not a whole number. If it's a decimal, then you're going to have to think of some other things. So there's my 12. I'm canceling my pi's. And then negative 5 times 30 is what? Negative 150 degrees, right? Remember we talked about how you have to have your symbol? Raise your hand if you got that one. Now, I was telling a student about some number sense. Yesterday we learned that a whole rotation is 180 degrees, or it's equal to pi, 1 pi. This is less than a pi. 6 pi over 6 would be 1. So if this is less than 1, this is around 180 degrees, or around a negative 180 degrees, and that's clearly my answer. Okay? Alright, let's do the last one here. Cindy, what's our awesome proportion? And Cindy, do we have degrees or radians here? How do you know that's radians? It doesn't have a degree symbol. Good. So I have 4.25 radians over 2 pi, right? That's part over whole over degrees over 360 degrees. Alexis, what do we do next? Cross multiply. Alexis, what am I going to write there in yellow? Two times 180? Yeah. Sure. And then on the other side? Yep. Sebastian, what did you do next? How do I move it? You're going to do the opposite math operation, right? Yeah, we're going to divide both sides by 2 pi. Sebastian, what do I have on the right side? Degrees. And on this side? Is there anything you can cancel based on what Alexa said? Yeah, the 2's. So I have 4.25 times 180 all divided by pi. there's my calculator ready equation. We talked about that last semester. That basically means you have, you're kind of telling me what you're putting into the calculator before you actually put it in. Also for this chapter, you're going to have a part where it's going to be calculator and no calculator. So I'm going to type this in, 4.25 times 180. Never, ever, ever use the number 3.14. You should be using the button pi. So I'm going to divide my answer. All I'm pressing is just division. Pi is there in blue, so I'm going to have to press second up arrow. So it says that. And degrees is equal to 243 point, I don't know, we'll round to the hundredths. Raise your hand if you got that answer. Good job. So 3 examples of how to convert from radians to degrees.